This is Lesson 5 on page 141, Printing Workbooks.
You put a lot of work into creating, populating, and formatting your workbook. Now you may need to print hard copies of your workbooks to share with your colleagues, supervisor, or organizational leaders. Your workbooks may contain multiple worksheets, each of which could contain thousands of data entries, formulas, and results. Instead of printing all of this indiscriminately, you will need to print only what is necessary to deliver critical information to your audience. Microsoft Office Excel has a wide variety of printing options that can save your document recipients from having to sift through mounds of irrelevant data. In this lesson, you will preview and print a workbook, set up the page layout, and configure headers and footers. So topic A on 156 is previewing and printing a workbook.
142.
Although most information these days exists digitally, you will likely still on occasion require hard copies of a document. But spreadsheets are not the same as most other documents. They can contain nearly any number of rows and columns, and the amount of data you can include on worksheets can be staggering. So what defines a page for printed workbooks largely depends on your preferences. Excel includes a variety of printing options you can take advantage of. Knowing what these are and how they work means you'll be able to generate hard copies of your data exactly as you need to, quickly and easily. We can access our print commands by going to our File tab and in the left-hand pane selecting Print. This opens our print preview screen. So in our middle pane here under the word print, these are all of our settings that we can choose. And then in our right-hand pane, we have our print preview screen. So right now in my document, you can see it says page 1 of 9. So I currently have 9 individual pages being printed. My first page shows my employee ID, last name, first name, middle initial, department, and position. So you can see clearly that all of my columns are not fitting on one page. If I scroll to page 2, this will list the continuation of the rest of my employees. Number 3 shows the last section of my employees for those first columns. And then it will jump to the next columns for my first set of employees. We have start date, years with company, pay scale code, bonus, salary. Page 5, the next set of columns for my second set of employees, and then page 6, last set of employees, those next columns. Page 7, I have one column left, total compensation. That's for my first set of employees. Page 8 is for my second set of employees. And page 9 is for the last section of my employees. So you can see everything is kind of spread out among numerous pages. But we can kind of configure our print settings so it's not, so spread out over so many numerous pages. So in our print settings, this button will execute the print job and send it to the printer, whatever one you have selected here. So these are all the available printers that you may have. You can choose how many copies of the document that you want to print. And then under our settings screen, we have the option of print active sheets. Or from that drop down, this is only going to print what sheet you currently have selected. You can print the entire workbook, or if you have maybe a range of cells selected before you even go to your print preview screen, you can choose to print those as well. Or you can choose to only print a certain amount of pages. So maybe I only need pages 2 and 3 printed. I can use my scroll arrows 2 to 3. Then from this drop down, you can choose to print the document one-sided on both sides, or flipping them on the short edge or long side printing on both sides. So it depends on your printer's capability. Now, your collating settings, this chooses in what order the pages are going to be printed in. So I have 9 pages. If I choose collated, it's going to print set 1 first. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then it's going to go to the next document and print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. If I choose uncollated, it's going to print all page 1s together, all page 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s. Okay, so that's just choosing, what order you want the papers coming out. Then we have our portrait orientation or our landscape orientation. Portrait has the long end of the paper going vertically. This is going to show more rows on a page. If I choose to change to landscape, landscape is going to show less rows, but it's going to be able to fit more columns. So now you can see it goes all the way up to Years with Company on page 1. All right. So again, portrait orientation will fit more rows, less columns. Landscape orientation will fit more columns and less rows. Then you can select your paper size from the next drop down. You can choose your margins. Remember, that's the white space around the edge where the edge of the paper meets the actual text. And also you have scaling options as well. And this determines whether or not Excel changes the magnification level of your data and how it applies magnification to printed pages. So you can fit the whole entire sheet on one page. So it'll make the text much smaller to be able to fit it on one page. Much, much smaller since we have 8 pages right now. Or you can shrink to fit all columns on one page, or maybe you just want to shrink to fit all rows on one page. So those are your scaling options. Also, in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen, we have 2 buttons down here. This first button is to show our margins. If I click on that, you can see this is my left margin here. It shows exactly where the edge of it is. This is my top margin here. Bottom margin is in between these 2 lines, and right margin in between the edge and this line here. And if you don't want to actually measure your margins, you can also click and drag them from here. If you want to make the left margin a little wider, you can do that just by clicking and dragging the dividing line. All right, toggle that back off, just click the button. And then the second button is zoom to page, and that'll just zoom into the document a little bit. You only have the option to zoom in and zoom out. You can't choose the magnification here. All right.
Your next video will be Activity 5.1 on page 147.